Hi, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name is Tracy and I'm your host, and I am coming to you from a super cool down Toronto, which is good because last weekend it was so hot that like my ankles were cankles, and it was just so uncomfortable being at a workplace and a home that has no air conditioning. There was very little reprieve from the heat. So I'm glad to say it has cooled down and my ankles have started to come down a bit, and life is getting back to autumn as it should be. It is October 1st today, and today we are going to be starting the Spirit of Autumn Knit Along, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the podcast. And it is really feeling like fall, so perfect day to start a knit along. As I said off the top, I'm Tracy, and I am Tracy RR on Ravelry, and I am Comfy Red Couch on Instagram. And if this is your first time visiting the podcast, welcome. I am going to be talking about some knitting today. I'm going to be talking about some sewing and lots of crafty goodness. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to watch me. I'm glad you visit with me every week. And it makes it a lot of fun knowing that there are people that return each week to watch what I've got to say. And I have lots to say this week. I've got lots to show. So make sure you've got your project bag, make sure you've got your beverage of choice, and come get comfy with me and with Scout on the Comfy Red Couch. And we're going to start off with, as usual, some tea. This week I am drinking a very special tea in my very special Haunted Mansion mug, and I've used this on the podcast before because it is one of my favorite mugs, and October is the perfect time to use this mug. This is my Haunted Mansion ride mug, and this is the wallpaper from the Haunted Mansion with a very bad glare on it. And inside at the very bottom it says, "Hurry back." And I know I've shown it before, but for anyone who's new, this is one of my favorite mugs. And inside today, I am drinking a very special tea that was sent to me by Lindsay. And Lindsay and I are doing a swap. So Lindsay sent me lots of lovely goodness, lots of teas, some yarn, some bags, and lots of fun things, and I'll share some of those with you. So what I'm drinking today is the Harney & Sons Cranberry Autumn Tea, and this is, I love the Harney & Sons packaging. I have a few of these already, not this flavor, but some other flavors, because I just love the jewel tone tins, and the beautiful sachets are lovely, and the smells of the teas wonderful. So definitely a very special tin of tea to get, and that is what I am drinking. But I guess back in the summertime, Lindsay had found some tea forte, and I said, oh, I love tea forte. It reminds me of Boston when we went to stay there one time. And so Lindsay found some tea forte for me. And it's almost like Valentine's Day, but yellow. And inside are some lovely tea forte sachets, and they're like little triangle sachets. They're kind of neat. They stand up in your teacup. So I'm looking forward to drinking those because I do like tea forte. And there was also some loose tea forte, and this one is spiced ginger plum, and it smells really good. It's loose tea at the bottom, still in the container. And I'll have to have that one day on the podcast. And cookies, because tea time is not complete without cookies. So I have been so good, and I have not gotten into these all week long. But don't expect that next week these will be here. Next week this will be a wonderful tin for something knit-worthy. Some, I don't know, something to store. Because once those cookies are gone, this is a fantastic storage tin. And then also in my lovely package was this beautiful skein of yarn, and it is so squishy. It's a worsted weight, it's Charleston, and I don't think it has a color name. It's 210 yards and it is just so squishy, and I love the colors. It's great for going into autumn because it's got those sort of autumnal colors, but it's also great for, you know, February when, you know, everything's so gray and dingy, and then you've just got that bit of pop of ivory and oranges and even yellow that just sort of brighten things up and make things a little lively. So I'm looking forward to knitting this into something squishy. So it'll either be a hat, a cowl, or either mitts or fingerless mitts. I haven't figured it out yet, but it will be something warm and squishy that will love me all winter long. So huge thanks to Lindsay for my lovely swap package, and hopefully you'll get yours not too distant a future. I've got to still, like I said, get some Canadiana put together to go with the one thing I definitely was sending you that you know about, and I'll pop that in the mail as soon as I can. So nice, warm, squishy. But since this is the tea time segment, and no tea time is complete without a quick sip, and cheers. So nice and warm. What? A Material Girl? It's been forever since we had Material Girl. And there are a few reasons why I have Material Girl in here this week. There are no finished objects. No dates have been made with my seam ripper yet. I am still working on getting my third floor sewing room, knitting room sort of put back in the order that I would like it. But I do have a few things that I wanted to share, and the first thing I'm going to share came from my swap package with Lindsay, and it is a great simplicity pattern for this dress, and I'm actually liking the middle one. I love the little sleeves on it, and I am hoping at some point, I've got the material for it, I'm hoping to get to making this. I'm not even going to make any promises to when I'm going to make it, but I'm going to make it at some point. So I'm looking forward to that. And the other thing I did was I finally printed up the Sally dress. So I have a deadline for this one. Birthday is in November, so I've got to make at least one dress by then, and then hoping the next one by Christmas. And when I did print, I made sure that my little test square was 1 inch, and it is, so I made sure I printed properly, and so it's a matter of washing the material after I sort out my sewing area. And I'm hoping to get the Sally dress made for my niece for her birthday, and also a second one for Christmas, so there will be some more Material Girl happening this autumn, and I'll share once I've got the materials all washed, I'll share that with you again. And I'm hoping it doesn't take a long time to do. I mean, it's a little girl's dress. It shouldn't take that long, right? Famous last words, I'm sure. So the final thing I want to share with you is a mixture between cross stitch and some material, because my original thought was to have the cross stitch in the middle framed by the material sort of in a quilting hanging pattern. So I'm not sure if that's what I want to do now. I'm thinking maybe a project bag. But so I did the cross stitch, and these are based on traditional quilting patterns. And the backs are just as neat as the fronts, but the fronts are nicer. And what I did, as I said, I bought some quilting material to go with these, and my plan was to do something that highlighted each of the colors. So let's try and get that so it drops a bit so you can see the colors a little bit better. A little awkward. And then the final color was this lovely orange. So I've got orange, green, yellow, and the colors are very much similar to, not quite fully the same, but very similar to the cross stitch pattern. So As I said, I may try and figure out how to incorporate this into a project bag, and that'll be a really special project bag because I did these many, many years ago, and I've had the material for a really, really long time, so it'd be nice to actually finally make some use of it. There's not a lot of the green and there's not a lot of the yellow, a little bit more of the orange, but they're so pretty together, and along with the cross stitch, that will be a very unique bag. Stay tuned. We'll see how long it takes me to actually get to it. I mean, it's only been in the bag for probably 7 years, probably. Anyway, that's what I've got to share on Material Girl this week. And it is time for It's a Sockness and my favorite things. And on It's a Sockness, the It's a Sockness portion, you know I am still working on my La Belle et la Bête socks. This is my original pair, and I'm working on the second pair. And I didn't get a ton done this week. I did get the heel flap for the pink sock completed. So last week I ended off here. This week I got to here, and I just barely started the heel flap there, but I mean just barely. So I got a little bit done on Friday, and that was it. It was super busy at work, and I didn't really do a lot of work on the socks at home, so I sort of pulled it out when I could. But eventually these will look like these, and then I'll have 2 wonderful pairs of La Belle et la Bête socks. But for now, back in the bag, waiting to be knit on tomorrow while I'm at work, waiting to start the day and trying to be calm. This week, the project in my princess bag finally got some love, mainly yesterday. But this one is a shawl for a wedding that is happening in early November. And the original plan was that I was going to make 2 of these shawls. And while it's a beautiful pattern, the way it's written is making me want to tear my hair out, gouge my eyes out. I'm not loving it. So I will love it when it's all finished. I do love how it is looking, but I am not enjoying knitting it at this point. And I am procrastinating because I'm not enjoying knitting it. So it is, as I said, going to be lovely. I love the color. I love the beads. So the color is starting to change, and I think once it's finished it will be completely wonderful and beautiful. And these are the beads that I'm using. But the thought of doing a second, no, it's not happening. So I'm thinking of choosing a pattern from Helen's back catalog, and the yarn I'm going to use for the second one is this one, also Farb Marsh. This is Flamingo. The other one was light pink to lavender. And so this is not going to be a Scottish Thistles, just because I like my sanity. And I need something that I'm going to feel confident that I will complete on time and that will look beautiful. So still trying to figure out which one this will become, but definitely know it will not become another Scottish Thistles. So it is beautiful. It really is. It is a gorgeous pattern. Just not one that I would like to tackle again. So, but once it's done, I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Yeah. What else can I say? Yeah. 52 more rows to go. 52 more rows to go. That's what I've got to just, so plow through it, and I will, but just, it's not fun when it's just making you, putting your teeth on edge. So I do, however, have what I procrastinated with this week, and I'm really, really liking it. And this is the All About That Brioche shawl that I've been wanting to knit for ages. And this is the one I'm making for Isaac. I will not have it done for his birthday because at this point, the wedding shawl is a priority. But I really, really procrastinated on this week. And I just, to keep track of the right side, I put my lovely little Jiggles and Beans vampire. And I've been working away on the garter portion. And this is Once Upon a Corgi, and this is the Lemony Snicket colorway right here. And this is on the Isaac base, so it's 100% Polworth. I've never worked with Polworth before. It's not quite as soft as merino, but I think it's 100%, so hopefully it doesn't do the bounce back when you've got nylon in it, so I'm looking forward to that. And I will be using this, which is Nice Guys Finish Dead, also by Once Upon a Corgi on the Isaac base. And these will be going together as the brioche part. And then at the very end, it will be just this on its own. So Isaac gave me a little bit of leeway. So along the lines of what I did with my Lemon Difficult shawl on this lovely Lemony Snicket colorway, I am going to put a second Progress Keeper. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because this is something that came in the mail, and this is another Jiggles and Beans, and it is a cute little pumpkin. And to welcome autumn and welcome October, I thought we will put the pumpkin at the top of this shawl. And we'll see if I actually get any time to work on it this week, because I am enjoying it. It's great for TV knitting and just distracting myself from the knitting I should be doing. So anyway, right side right here, and I will pop this lovely little pumpkin on, and I will have hopefully some progress to share, if not next week, in the next week after that, so that we're not completely falling behind. So there's my little pumpkin. There's my right side keeper. And I think we might do a theme if I'm hoping this one doesn't take very long, but we might do some fun Jiggles and Beans Halloween themes. That might be a spoiler. So, in my La Bien-Aimée Fringe Supply Company bag, field bag, I like this project. I just want to work on it all the time, but I can't. If you tuned in last week, you know I have a finished object because I took the progress markers off of the finished object when I podcasted last, and I blocked it this week. So this is my Lemon Difficult Brioche shawl, and I think I may have blocked it a little bit aggressively. Not only is it so completely huge, it is really quite stretched out. So this is the wrong side, this is the right side, but the great thing about brioche is you can wear it any side you want. So, and I have to figure out how to wrap it, but back in July, I did the If You Like Pina Coladas hat. So the great thing is that the blue in the hat matches the blue in the shawl. So I'm not sure whether I will be keeping this set or not, but it was fun to work on, both of them, both the hat and the shawl, and I really enjoyed working on the brioche. I think next time I need to not block as aggressively because it's not quite as squishy, so I do hope it sort of bounces back a little bit so that it gets a little bit more squish factor happening. But in the meantime, I have a finished object. One thing I will say about let's take the hat off. One thing I will say about this brioche project compared to the All About That Brioche, the Lemon Difficult is a very rough edge, while the All About That Brioche, I'm really liking the edge. It just looks a lot neater, cleaner, and it's got, I guess, just a few slip stitches at the edge that help make it look a little more polished. So that one will be for Isaac. This one, I'm not sure. And I think there's only the one mistake in it, which I talked about many moons ago, many weeks ago, and that was just I had forgotten one of the increases along the edge. But I think all of the rows, I mean, I'd have to go through definitely with a fine-tooth comb, but I don't think I did have to do surgery a couple of times to fix it, but in the end I think it, other than that one where I forgot to do the increase, it's a fairly perfect shawl, so that makes me happy. So nice, squishy. I don't know, I might have to keep this one because it's fun. I like it. So, and I just, the lichen and lace is always lovely to work with, and crazy hair. Crazy Hermione Year 1 hair. So, yay for finished objects. It is time to talk about the Spirit of Autumn Knit-Along, and the Spirit of Autumn Knit-Along is featuring the Oracle Shawl by Kristen Lehrer, or any magically themed shawl that is at least 2 to 3 skeins. Now, a couple of days ago, Kristen announced that there will be a half pie Oracle shawl released on November 1st. So for those of you who are thinking they don't want to do the full pie Oracle, you are definitely welcome to join in with the half pie Oracle. The only problem with that is you're going to have to wait till November 1st to join in, but that's okay because the knit-along goes from today, October 1st, and ends on the full last day of autumn. So even though autumn officially ends at something like 11:38 or 11:28 Eastern Standard Time on the 21st, the last full day of autumn is the 20th, and that will be the last day of the KAL. So that's when we'll be looking for finished objects. The knit-along will just happen on Instagram because at this point in my life, to take on upkeeping and maintaining a Ravelry group is, as I've said before, just a little bit much. So I want it to be easy breezy and not too stressful. So I think it's important to state the rules or expectations of the knit-along straight off the bat so that anybody who is wanting to participate and wanting to be eligible for the 3 wonderful prizes knows what they've got to do. So first off, Oracle or Oracle half pie shawl, or a 2 to 3 skeined magically themed shawl, and I will leave you up to, you've got to be able to justify why it fits the magical theme. If it's one of those sort of, does this count? Can you justify it? If you can, well then, yes, it counts. And so 2 to 3 skeins. It does not have to be fingering weight, but it should be a substantial shawl because we are doing the entirety of autumn for the knit-along. If you've already started either an Oracle or a magically themed shawl and you are less than 25% done that shawl, you are definitely welcome to join in and hopefully finish it before the date of our knit-along. Other things you need to know, there are 3 wonderful prizes, And I don't even want to rank these prizes because they're all so wonderful. There's not like a first, second, or third. They're just 3 wonderful prizes, and there are different ways to get these 3 wonderful prizes. So one of the prizes is a little bobbins bag that Danny is making specially for the knit along. And that one will be a full-on draw from all of the finished objects that are posted on the Instagram thread. So everybody is eligible for the little bobbins bag if you finish your shawl. The other 2 prizes are lovely yarny prizes that I have curated, and I have purchased from the wonderful dyers, and I'm just waiting for them to jet their way over to me. So one of them is by Sarah of Cauldron of Colors, and she has created a Spirit of Autumn colorway for us for the knit along, and that will be one of the prizes. And the other prize will be from Tracy of Nora George, and it will be the Boo Radley colorway. So that will be released at the end of October and sent my way, and then I'll be able to show you what it actually looks like. And and I'll show you as soon as I get the yarn that Sarah has created for us. I will show that to you too. So I'm so excited to see that one. So I haven't seen photographs, but she's told me about it. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like. In order to be eligible for the little bobbins bag, you need to complete your shawl and put on the hashtag Spirit of Autumn KAL, and I think we'll probably put FO on the end so that we can make it determine the difference. The other 2 yarny prizes will be a little bit more based on creativity. And one of the prizes will be for the project that has the neatest name. So the best named project. So if you can come up with a really fun Spirit of Autumn KAL project name, I will choose a couple of my favorites. Danny will choose a couple of her favorites. And what we will do is we will put those names into the draw. So I'm hoping 2 to 3 each, so maybe, maximum of 6 people put in that draw. The last yarny prize will be based on the best themed photographs. So for people who love to put together and stage a wonderful photograph, they will be able to create a wonderful Spirit of Autumn knit along photograph that I will choose a couple that I like, Danny will choose a couple that she likes, and we will have a draw on those final photographs that we've narrowed down, and one of those lucky people will win one of the yarn prizes. So 3 very different ways to win the prize. One for everybody, one for those who really like to craft with words, and one for those who really like to craft with photographs and make wonderful pictures. So hopefully that's a fun way to celebrate the Spirit of Autumn. And today I will be winding my yarn and I will cast on. And the yarn I have chosen to go with is actually my Oracle kit, which I have shown on the podcast before. I have a lovely photograph on Instagram, and it is still in the bag. I'm going to wind it up a little bit later. And this is Black Pearl Neptunia, which I absolutely adore, and Fairy Hair on the pink. And so you can see it was for the Oracle kit, and this is the Under the Sea kit, and it's all on the narwhal base, and I just love, especially that one in the middle, that I really thought, you know what, I'm actually going to use the kit for what it was designed for. So I'm excited to start knitting, and I'm going to wind these up later. Hope you join in with us, and I will show you my progress as we go along. I'm just hoping I finish it. Brown paper packages time. And this week I got a bin. I've not been very good on my yarn diet. So part of that was because there's just so many cute, wonderful autumnal things. And I did show that I had a pumpkin jiggles and beans So there might be some more other lovely little Jiggles and Beans progress markers to go along. And this witch stole my heart. I had to have this lovely little witch. It reminds me of Elphaba from Wicked. And then, of course, just a lovely blue popsicle. And speaking of popsicles, another Halloweeny popsicle with blood dripping down. These are just too fun. You're not just going to have one sent in the mail to you. You can't do that. It's lonely for them if they go alone. And then there's one more that is, of course, buried somewhere in my bag. There it is. And it is another cutie. It's a little Frankenstein popsicle. So I did get some beautiful things from Jiggles and Beans. I also got a banana. Might be at the bottom of the bag, but it's a cute little banana. I've not been very good on my yarn diet because there's so many lovely yarns out there. And Once Upon a Corgi, who can say no to anything that's on Isaac base for one? But Hedwig, gorgeous. I had originally purchased this one thinking I might put it into the shawl instead of the Nice Guys Finished Dead for Isaac, but Isaac actually liked the color in Nice Guys Finished Dead, so it's nice to have Hedwig for myself. But I also bought the wonderful little kit because the socks looked amazing in the white, so I think I actually have to make myself a pair of socks out of these ones, also on Isaac base, and this is Hedwig, and Dark Like My Soul is the little mini, and it came with a Corner of Craft beaded progress keeper of a lovely little cloud. So I couldn't say no. I need to learn no. The last thing I got from Once Upon a Corgi was this lovely skein of Dark as a Crow at Night on the Audrey base. And this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And this is another Lemony Snicket colorway. And I've talked about it before, think the series of unfortunate events on Netflix is so hilarious that this has now become, I want all of the Lemony Snicket colors. And that is not good for my yarn budget. And then the other thing that's not been good for my yarn budget is the fact that I had no Halloween bags, and I felt like I needed to have some Halloween project bags. So when Teeny Button Studio had a lovely kit, which came with yarn didn't count because it was in a kit. That's how I justify it. Isn't that just so fun? And this is called Acromantula Venom. Acromantula Venom. And just look at those gorgeous purples. And it came with a super cute project bag that has all of the lovely potions. So, Owl's Hoot, Graveyard Dust, Witch's Brew, and inside also came a lovely little cauldron progress keeper, which is super glittery on the top and has crazy bubbling brew inside. So, and then a lovely orange lining inside. So, yeah, I had a hard time saying no to a few of the Halloweeny project bags. So this one needs to go into rotation. It is so cute. Love it. Oh, yes. I also got myself in trouble at Mustache Yarns again because mustache, you've got a mustache. They're just so beautiful, and they're so lovely to work with, and it doesn't help that I'm working on the Beauty and the Beast socks and loving every single color. So I have had my eye on this color for a while, and it came up again, so I snapped it up along with a few others. And this is Kama Sutra, And another one that was in the shop that also very rainbow-like and fun is Calaveras, and this is on a sparkle base. So fun, sparkly rainbow socks. But then the one that just captured my heart, and it was the name. It was the name that got me. Eeyore's Rainbow. Who does not love Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh? It's a gloomy day. Because everybody needs some Eeyore in their lives. I just think this is the best named gray and white socks ever, Eeyore's Rainbow. So I had to have it. I don't have a lot of black and white socks, so yeah. So they've highlighted with some pink, which I think would be perfect. And I love the mustache yarn, so I just have to stay off the site. And finally, I got something so amazing in the mail this week. And I've been looking forward to this for a while because it is a pink hazel bag. And where I thought it was yellow, it's actually lime green, which I adore this color green. I absolutely love it. It makes me so happy. So I thought I was getting a yellow bag. So when it turned out that it was actually lime green, I was over the moon. And it is beautifully finished, so pink hazel, and it's so soft inside, and it's a nice big size because I want to make some sweaters, and I really just did not have a lot of sweater size bags. So now I have a sweater size bag. I have no excuses on not to make those bigger garments, and it's got a lovely leather handle, and I just love it. It's got a beautiful pocket inside. Oh, yeah, I was quite thrilled to be able to get this, and I love the colors. I absolutely love the blue and the lime green, and perfect for me. Perfect for me. So, where I went on a yarn diet, I've sort of been buying bags, which has not been the best. I absolutely love the colors in this bag and am looking forward to putting some bigger size projects in it. And it's got such great padding too, which will be great to stop those needles from poking through. So I'm looking forward to putting something wonderful in here soon. And since it has waves and it's big, I think it is the perfect project bag for my Oracle shawl under the sea kit. So this is now my new Spirit of Autumn knit along project bag. So keep an eye on this bag in the next little while. So exciting. And that leaves us with an empty basket. My original intention was to do a true confessions on how I am not loving knitting my Scottish Thistles shawl, but I think I got that point across during the My Favorite Things segment. Ironic that it was in My Favorite Things, but it will be beautiful when it's finished. It's just getting it finished, and definitely there will not be a second one going on. But anyway, I want to get this uploaded and, well, edited, uploaded, and have some time to work on the Scottish Thistles shawl so that I can get it done. So I am skipping True Confessions and just a few bits and bobs. So I mentioned off the top, it has cooled down considerably, thankfully, because it was just way too hot and just uncomfortable. And as I said, my ankles were huge. it was not a happy scene. And so it's now finally autumn, and this is Isaac's birthday week. He's wanting to go to a place called the Dragon Pearl for dinner sometime this week for celebrating his birthday, so we might do that. And next week we have Thanksgiving, so I am looking forward to a long weekend. I'm going to try and do a shorter podcast next week, but I know I've got the Shawl Society 6 to share with you next week, so I definitely want to have something about that, and I also want to share what I've done on the Oracle Shawl as well. So I will have an episode, but I'm going to maybe try and pare it down where maybe it's just a couple of segments rather than a full-on episode, because I definitely will need to get some knitting done, probably on my Scottish Thistles shawl. And so looking forward to a busy week ahead. It will be super, super busy at work. I have an evening event. I've got a daytime event that I've got to pull together as well. So that's going to affect my knitting output, and that's never a great thing, but it is what it is. I have a crazy little silly Nathaniel with me for Bits and Bobs. And what are you wearing? What a fantastic green sweater. This is your mix and match sweater that I made you, isn't it?
I think I standing up too high.
You did stand up too high. It's got a lovely little pocket in it. Put your hands in your pocket. Look, it's nice and warm.
It just magically, my hand just
It did. It went right through. Both hands went through. Do you like this sweater? Yeah, is it a lovely green? Is it warm and snuggly? You're so silly. Is it a comfortable sweater? Is it warm and snuggly? Did Mommy make it for you? Yes, she did. No one else made it for you, just Mom. Anyway, so this is your mix and match sweater, and you get to wear it now, because now that nobody wants to see down your throat. They really don't. Now that the autumn weather is here, and now that we've finally shown you wearing it on the podcast, you get to wear it. So stand up so everybody can see. Yeah, you're funny. Yeah. And it's so warm and snuggly. I think I just want to keep you in this all the time because it is so warm and snuggly.
How do you wash it?
I put it in the washing machine, and then I'm going to lay it flat to dry, so don't you dare put it in the dryer.
Okay.
Okay? So today is October 1st. What kind of things happen in October?
Halloween.
And what are you going to be for Halloween?
Vampire.
Again? You're always a vampire.
No. Last year was a fireman.
Were you? Okay, the year before you were a vampire.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Your first year you were a toothless vampire.
No.
Yeah, now you've got teeth. So you want to be a vampire? We've got a cloak for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you get me teeth?
You have teeth.
Where is they?
They're in your mouth.
No, like things. Yeah, things.
Like mine?
You don't have any things.
I might. Maybe I'll bring them out on Halloween. Okay, so Halloween soon, you're going to go as a vampire.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to scare everybody on the street.
You're going to scare everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
By trying to find it.
Okay. And what else happens in October? What's next weekend?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. And do you think maybe you should dress up like a turkey? We'll put you in the oven?
No.
No? Okay. Shall we have turkey? Or should we have tofurkey?
We should have tofurkey.
Tofurkey? Okay, maybe we'll have tofurkey instead of turkey. Okay, so I'm going to send you upstairs while I say goodbye to everybody on the podcast. Thank you for showing us your lovely green sweater. And there goes Nathaniel.
Up and away to New York City.
on his way to New York City. If you see him, say hello. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast this week. I hope you've had a chance to relax, refresh, enjoy a nice beverage, and get a good chunk of your project done that you've been working on. And I hope I'll see you next week on the Comfy Red Couch. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Wind, wind, wind the yarn into a cake. Merrily, 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 the oracle I will make. One down. 2 to go.